Hi, welcome. I'm Lorelai of Namasturm Yoga, and today I'm going to guide you through a Yin Yoga practice. So start just by sitting for a moment. Take your hands to your knees. Close your eyes. Maybe tune in to the reason why you're looking for a practice today. Yin Yoga is a much slower practice than most other hatha forms. I tend to teach a lot of vinyasa classes, and those are definitely moving, active. Yin Yoga, much more passive, but it's a great counterpoint to any more active, vigorous form of exercise or yoga that you tend to do. So welcome. If you want to practice with a mantra today, I'm going to suggest this one. Lokah, samastah, sukhino, bhavantu, which means may all creatures everywhere be happy and free. If you want to use the Sanskrit, great, or you can even just put the English in your mind. And as we practice, just keep that thought in your mind, and that can be your mantra, or you can simply work with the breath or any other mantra that you like to use to keep yourself focused. And let's move to the floor. So the first pose we're going to take is a supine butterfly pose. So we're going to come to our backs and then just take the knees out wide. So bend them and let them fall to the floor with the feet together. The upper body just rests. And you can do this with a couple ways with your hands. So you could take your arms out to the sides, tuck your shoulder blades underneath you and have the palms up. Or you could take one hand to your navel and one hand to your heart. And just breathe here. Close the eyes. Feel free to close your eyes in any of the poses where it's going to help you to remain still and focused. Most of our yin poses are passive in that we're not working with our muscles to try to actively get ourselves to go deeper. It's a lot more about letting go and giving in. So though the poses may feel challenging, they may bring up sensations and even emotions, our focus is on trying to let go, find ease, do less, and just give in to the practice wherever it takes you. Let's bring the knees into the chest. And we're going to take a supine twist. We're going to drop the knees over to the right and then turn the head to the left. And you can take your left arm out, either at shoulder height, or you could bend your elbow. Let the arm rest, but the head is away from the knees. And breathe. If you want to use your right hand on top of your left knee, you're not pushing, but you can let the weight of the hand help to move the knee closer to the floor. If you'd like to work with a new Ujjayi breath, you can incorporate that. Or again, maintaining your mantra. See if you can give your mind something to focus on so that it doesn't just wander off. And we'll change sides. So take a breath or so maybe to bring the knees back through center and then allow them to fall the other way. So for me, now they're going to the left and I'm going to turn my head to the right. This practice is very still, so just let yourself find that still quietness as you rest. And then coming back to center with the knees, we're going to rock ourselves up and come to a standing forward fold. So use your hands to help you here. Coming to your feet, allow your upper body to just hang and dangle. Your feet can be hip distance apart. Turn whatever direction makes the most sense for you on your mat. And then just let the upper body hang. The knees should stay bent so that we're not straining or stretching our hamstrings, but rather we're thinking of letting go from our tail all the way through the spine to the head. The arms can just hang here as well. And breathe. See if you can move your weight slightly more toward the balls of your feet. And then if it feels right to straighten the legs, go ahead and do it. Just don't force them open. And don't let the upper body come up as you straighten the legs. Keep yourself relaxed. Relax your neck. Let everything go. bend the knees and move to a squat position. If you can't keep your heels on the floor in a squat, that's fine. You can move your heels off the floor and balance on your toes. But if you're able to, just let your heels come down and then wrap your arms around your shins and just curl in. Nose to knees. All of our poses are held for a length of time, so sometimes up to 2 to 3 minutes. So really giving our body a chance to deepen into the pose and let go and give in, release. You might decide where you would like your weight to be. So maybe move it a little forward. Maybe shift it back. Find what feels right here as you continue to allow yourself to go into this pose further and further with each breath. Squat can be challenging for a lot of our joints, our ankles, our knees, our hips. If you're experiencing pain, find a way to ease up and back off. And then we're going to try to stretch the toes or the bottoms of the feet. So we're just going to lean forward and bring our knees to the floor, but keep our toes tucked. And then, as best you can, sit back on your heels and let your shoulders move over your hips. Again, if this is too much for you, you can let yourself lean forward. But if you're able to, go ahead and just come on up and breathe and let the feet open. Now from here, let's step the right foot towards the front end of the mat and then work your left knee back, and you can keep your knee down. If it's challenging to have your knee on the floor, you could fold the edge of your mat, like the side edge of your mat, and double it up under your knee or put something to pad the knee. Walk the right foot a little to the side, and we're coming to dragon pose, which is a deep low lunge. Bring your hands inside of your front foot. Make sure that your knee is stacked right over your ankle so your shin is very upright here. And then if you're able to go deeper, let your forearms come to the floor. Let your head drop down. Allow your heart to start to sink to the ground. Release, let go, and breathe. And then before we do the other side, we're going to move to a child's pose. So take your right knee back, take the knees a little wider, take your feet together, and sink your hips down to your heels. Let the arms extend and forehead rest on the floor. And then moving up, we're going to switch to the dragon pose on the other side. So move your left foot forward, keep your right knee back. Walk your left foot a little to the side. And as you first move into this pose, make your adjustments. Make sure your left knee is over your ankle so that you're in the right place. And then start to lower your torso down to the floor. And then as you spend time in a pose, it might deepen. So you might allow yourself to sink lower. But the goal is to avoid fidgeting and adjusting and shifting and just that restless energy that sometimes comes when we start to feel uncomfortable or bored or anxious. So see if you can really allow yourself to just ride through those things in stillness, focusing on the breath or on your mantra to keep you present. to frog pose. So now, instead of taking your knees back like child's pose, we're going to take them really wide. And you might even decide to turn to the side on your mat so you can take them wide. The feet don't come together, they can stay apart. Then the hips move back a little bit like child's pose, and then we start to move the chest down. Forearms can come to the floor, or you can walk the arms out. So nice wide knees, moving the hips back and moving the chest down simultaneously. Breathe. For me, this particular pose, well, there's a lot of sensation here, so I definitely feel it. It feels intense. If you start to feel pain in any pose, ease up. Find a way to make it work that is not painful. That said, not all sensations are pain. So if you're feeling like it's intense or you're uncomfortable, that might be okay. If it gets to the point of pain, find a way to ease up. Breathe. And then find a way to ease yourself out of the pose. Carefully. Get the knees back under you. And we're going to come to Swan. So we're going to move the right knee forward with the shin across the mat. Use the left toes to guide the left leg back. The right knee is on the right side. We don't want to completely roll onto the right hip. So if you need to support here, a block or something, that's fine. The left leg is behind you. If you want to make it deeper, see if you can move your shin further forward. So for me, I rock to my right hip a little to bring that shin forward, but then I move up off of it. And then if we want to come to sleeping swan and get a deeper stretch, just allow yourself to start to fold out over that front shin, and maybe propping yourself up on the forearms at first. But as you deepen, you can let your head come down and walk the hands out and away. Breathe, let go. Bringing yourself up. And before we come to the other side, we're going to move to Sphinx pose. So just allow your belly to come to the floor. And then this is basically working the arms a little bit to prop us up. So elbows under shoulders, extend the legs behind you, and let the heart lift up. Breathe. This is a small back bend. If you want to make it a little bit deeper, you can move to seal pose. So spread the fingers and start to straighten up the elbows. Let the chest sink down so the shoulder blades are sliding together and the heart is dropping forward. Soften up the legs and the glutes. Maybe let the head hang if that would feel better for your neck. And if you choose to go deeper, we are working the arms a little bit, but we're trying to let the upper body, the chest, the torso be relaxed. So if you want to work deeper, you're going to walk the hands a little closer, straighten the arms up so that you find yourself in more of a back bend. If it's too much, walk the hands further away. Notice if the shoulders tend to slide up to your ears, and see if you can mindfully keep them down so there's space between the shoulders and ears here. And then walk the hands in to bring yourself maybe to tabletop so that you can step your left knee or bring your left knee forward for Swan on the other side. Let the shin cross the mat. Use your right toes to help you get that right leg moved back behind you. And then if you did on the first side, maybe shift that shin further forward. Then make sure you've come back off of your left hip. You'll know that you're aligned okay if you're on your thigh and the toes can easily extend straight behind you. And then if you want to move this down to the sleeping swan, you can walk the hands out. If you'd rather stay upright, you can prop yourself up with your hands. But sleeping swan, allow your arms to walk out and starting on forearms. And because we are spending time in this pose, there's no rush to make it deep right away or force it to go to its final position in the first moments of the pose. Give it time and space. Let go when you're really ready. Make adjustments as you need to. But try not to fidget. Do less. Give in. Continue to follow your breath. and then coming up. We're going to move to a straddle, so the easiest way to do that might just be to roll. Take your legs out wide, find your way here. We're not gonna, so my tendency is to flex hard through the feet and really engage the legs in a straddle, but we can do less. So relax the legs, let the feet be loose and free. And then as we fold, we're really just letting go. So we're not gonna try to reach for the feet or pull ourselves down. We're just gonna start to bring the hands forward and then lean in, little by little. No rush, no force. The only effort is effort of resistance. So if you get to a point and you need to use your hands to keep yourself from going too deep too fast, use those hands to resist. But then as soon as you feel available and open, you can move the hands out of the way and give up some of that resistance. Maybe let the neck relax, dropping the head down. Breathe. Use your hands to bring yourself back up, nice and easy. We're gonna take a half butterfly, keeping the right leg straight. Let's just tuck the left leg in, sole of the foot to the thigh, and then turn. So we're angling our torso towards the right leg. And you can just keep that leg really relaxed though as you fold down towards it. So it's a little bit more of a directed fold, but the same action. We're just giving in, we're letting go, we're giving up our weight as best we can. The need to resist can mean that your arms have to use some effort, but if you start to feel like you're opening, you can let go of some of that effort and just give in. Remember, you can pull yourself back out if it gets too intense. And if you're experiencing pain, that's an indicator that your body's not ready to go where you're asking it to go. So be gentle and kind, but breathe into whatever sensations you're experiencing. always, as you're coming out of a pose, go slowly, especially if it felt a little intense. We're gonna leave this left knee bent, but see if you can move it sort of to point forward. And then we're just gonna cross the right leg all the way over the top and try to stack the knees. Let the feet relax. This is shoelace pose. You can put your hands on your knees or you can start to walk them out in front of you. We're just gonna fold into it. So a lot of the classes that I teach are vinyasa yoga practices, and they're more vigorous, they're almost athletic, and I love them. They feel great. But there are days that I get to, and today was one of them, where I'm just feeling a little tired. And although I know that vinyasa is good for stretching out the muscles, it's also a strengthening practice, and sometimes just need to go deeper with the relaxation and the ease in the muscles and the joints and let go a little bit. And that is when I will jump to a yin practice. I used to teach yin as well. So although it is not my main focus, I find that it is a very complementary practice. And if I forget to do it, I start to feel it in my body. I start to feel a little more tense and stiff. And I think the yin just allows me to let go a little bit and release some of that tension. So even though all yoga is supposed to help to release tension, it varies the type of practice that you do. You're still working your body. The yin is not easy. I find it very challenging, but it just does something so different than my more vigorous practice does. I think it really does have value and a place. Just a reminder, even if this isn't your favorite thing, it might be something that your body really maybe we'll even crave from time to time. It's to break things up, allow you to slow down and go deep. Come up easy. And we're gonna do both of these poses on the other side. So we can keep our right knee bent and tucked in. We're gonna take the left leg out and take the half butterfly on side 2. Angle your torso towards your left leg, but keep the foot relaxed. Try to keep your right knee really relaxed. Situate yourself and then just lean in. So a yin practice is a little different than a restorative practice, although it does have a little bit of the same vibe to it, right? So we're trying to relax and let go and give in, and gravity is our partner here in yin, as well as it would be in a restorative practice. And restorative practices can be deep stretching as well. But my experience is that in restorative, comfort is much more the guiding principle. In yin, we're actually allowing ourselves to go into discomfort, not pain. There is again a difference between discomfort and pain. But some of the yin poses, not all of them, but some of them can be very, very intense. We're letting things open up in ways that we just don't do at any other time in our day, week, month. I also find that restorative practices call for more props and support of cushions and bolsters and blocks. They don't have to. And yin can use some of those things as well. But I just think for me, find that most of the yin poses can be done without any support. If you need support, you use your body, your muscles, your arms to keep you from going too deep too fast. But mostly we're trying to let go and just see where things are. Give in. And then coming up, and we're gonna take the shoelace on the other side. So move that right knee so it points forward, and then cross the left knee and stack it on top. So this is a little different than if you were to plant your foot here. We actually wanna see if we can get that foot next to our hip and relax the edge of the foot, and then the knees are one over the other. And then as you lean in, it might be slow. So if you're really just tilting forward a little bit and you feel a deep stretch here, that's your pose for now. And you can keep your hands on your feet. As you start to be able to come further forward, the hands in front of you are like your brakes. They keep you from going too deep, but let them give when your body's ready to let them give. So don't resist, but if you're experiencing too much, you can back off using your hands. Walk your hands in to come on up. We're gonna take the legs straight out in front of us. So I'm gonna turn to the side so I'm on my mat. And we're gonna just do a simple forward fold. This one is sometimes called caterpillar pose. But relax the legs and feet, and if you need to kind of give yourself a little shake out to remind you to not flex hard or strain through the legs, do that. And then the same thing with the body. So this might be someplace where if you needed to sit up on a block, you could use that prop for yourself so that you're actually leaning forward as opposed to feeling like all you can do here is round your spine. So we want to think of leaning forward from the tailbone all the way through to the head. So it's an extension. But again, we're not going to strain or like try to grab our feet and pull ourselves deeper. We're really just going to relax the hands where they end up, and it might be on your legs, it could be the feet, and it's fine. If you can easily reach your feet and it feels comfortable to hold them, go for it, but just don't force it. Just let yourself drop down. And again, we're here, we've got about another minute and a half. So don't assume the pose is done. It might go deeper. Allow for that possibility, but without forcing it or presuming it. And then come on up. And we're gonna come to our backs, and we're basically gonna flip what we just did onto our backs. So we're gonna come to Snail. This is also like a plow pose, if you've ever just done a regular hatha class. So the legs can go up, and if you have a hard time getting the feet over your head, you could just keep the legs straight up. I'm actually gonna move back a little bit so I've got space. But if you're able to get those feet all the way behind your head, go ahead and take the legs up and over. And maybe you're supporting your back, or maybe those hands are on the floor, or maybe those hands reach back for your feet. The knees can be bent, so you could drop the knees by the ears, or you can keep the legs straight. Whatever makes the most sense for you here. So it's not like there's one perfect pose for everyone. You want to find the version that actually is working for you, allowing you to get some depth, but not causing you to feel like you're pained or strained. And then let's roll down. And we're gonna go to happy baby. So let the knees drop wide by the sides of the body. Let your hands rest on the soles of the feet. And then with the hands on the soles of the feet, just let your shoulders relax and melt down into the floor. The knees continue to drop down by the sides of the chest. And just breathe here. Release your feet. And then take your legs on out, and we want to finish with a short time in Shavasana. So let your feet flop open, maybe lift your chest and get those shoulders tucked underneath you. Let the arms open out slightly away from the sides. And then just give up the weight of everything here. So there should be no particular stretch or strain. However, if your low back is, doing anything weird, sometimes it can get a little spasmy after having the legs overhead and happy baby. You could bend your knees, have the feet a little wide, and then drop the knees towards each other. And that oftentimes is a little easier on the low back, at least to start. Breathe. You can close your eyes here. Are bent at some point. Let the legs extend back out, giving up the weight of your body completely. Please spend as much time in Shavasana, corpse pose, as you would like. I'm going to come up so that I can close the practice with you. You can join me if you'd like, or just stay down. Give yourself a few more minutes in Shavasana. Palms together in front of the heart, close the eyes, tuning into the breath. Coming back to that mantra that we started with. Lokah, samastah, sukhino, bhavantu. May all creatures everywhere be happy and free. And the light in me